Boys. Why aren't we talking about boys and young men more? What am I even talking about? I get so many things that talk about girls, young women, women in the field of human trafficking. Remember, at the Warriors, we are calling it slavery. That is a much more descriptive word, the enslavement of people. Let's call it what it is. That's the reality. But I want to also point out that, yes, studies show, and we know this, that most of the victims are girls and women. However, the fastest growing demo in human trafficking right now, February 2025, boys and men. So why isn't everybody taking to the streets and talking about this? We have to come to terms with what is really going on. I know a lot's happening. It is hard to focus on all of this. And of course, it's not nice to talk about these issues. But when you want to talk about them? If you, your child, your grandchild, or someone you know is involved, then everybody wants to talk about it. What we need to do is face that we are not going to be able to stop human trafficking. Certainly not in my lifetime, and probably your lifetime. It is the biggest money-making enterprise in the United States and the world. Right now, traditionally, everybody sticks to that old fact. I'm tired of hearing it. It's 150 billion worldwide. You know what? Finally, and I say finally, a report is out that I was reporting on about 6-8 months ago that NASDAQ reported, no, it's closer to 350 billion. Now remember, what do I always tell you at the Warriors? Whatever's reported, you can bet, I should say, the numbers are higher, right? That's what we know about. 350 billion? So who's stopping that? Nobody. It's a runaway train. That being said, what can we do? More people are talking about trafficking, slavery. The current Trump administration are fighting this. They're going to be, remember, they're only in office now officially. This is the third week. They've done a lot already with closing the borders. They have committed themselves, Tom Homan, borders are, to finding those reported over 500,000 missing unaccompanied minors somewhere in the United States, to shut down additional sex trafficking, labor trafficking, all of this in that whole thing I just told you about are certainly a lot of boys and young men. When I've been in groups and we talk about it a little bit, and not recently, or I read up on it, I'm always told that, boys are embarrassed to come forward. Men don't want to talk about it. I've interviewed. Go back on the Warriors. You'll see some interviews. Zeth Giel, a wonderful interview, a survivor as a child of all of this, didn't want to come forward. Again, he said he was embarrassed. He thought it was kind of the norm. He was psychologically just turned into this kind of robot. And that's what you have to understand. So when people say to me, why doesn't a kid or a teen or a person run away? You have to understand the psychological manipulation. That these pimps, traffickers, criminals, monsters go after our most vulnerable. You can be a vulnerable rich kid. You can be a vulnerable poor kid. Obviously, if you come from a very unstable background, home life, it is easier. And also remember, and we don't talk about this enough, a lot of kids are called throwaways. Their parents, wherever they're living, kick them out of the house. They're not runaways, they're kicked out. Other kids run away due to a whole variety of reasons, from abuse at home, thinking they're going to go out into the world and make some money and take care of themselves. We've got a whole host of problems. But let us start talking about equally. I understand the studies now are lacking with the numbers behind girls and women, but let's get the boys and the men out into the public, because I think boys, well, first of all, I've never been trafficked. So for me to go in and talk to a group is kind of, not real. I work on education. If I'm talking to a group, I'll have a well-vetted, somebody I work with, one of my warriors, a survivor of exploitation, come with me or talk to me or give me the facts, right? because we always want to be fact-driven. So I think we need more men to step up, to come out, to talk to kids, and not only for trafficking. We need more males, young men, any age man, to talk to our boys and men about empowerment, about engagement, about you can do it, right? We don't have enough of that. And I've also suggested with different groups we are part of, the Warriors, even though they are run by women, women are all the ones, on the Zooms or at the meetings. Why aren't we bringing men to the table? Because we do have, as I just pointed out, the largest increase. The demo is boys and young men in this trafficking, in this slavery. So bring them to the table as well. Let's get everybody there, power in numbers. So let's start thinking about boys and men. I will put a study in the body of this video, and let us open and honestly talk to our kids. Remember, one of the largest crimes facing our teen boys is sextortion, and that is extorting for money online. It could be inappropriate dialogue, inappropriate images. I am here to say all of those servers, the number one business in Nigeria, are far, far away. These are strangers. Why let a stranger harm your child? Tell your kids they cannot be embarrassed about anything. They need to be able to come to you about everything. So let's start focusing on our boys, on education, on our teens. Let's start bringing all the teens. It's not girls and boys, it's together. And let's, during this month of February, start a new dynamic, a new group of warriors. I urge all of you to honor our hashtag Community Creates Change. Share these videos. Make sure you're subscribed. You could become a member of Lynn's Warriors for the price less than a coffee. And I know you want to do it and support our education and support our empowering survivors and helping reclaim lives. So always join us at lynswarriors.org. And when you wake up each and every day, go out and be a warrior.